You're watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And recently we decided to show you what cars on the used market you could get for $10,000 US and $30,000 US, but then we realized that if you spend more money, $50,000 US, there's a lot more options.
Yeah, and they get really spicy. And they take you to an era where not everything was computer. They were analog and just a bit more simple and kind of raw.
Yeah, like this. This is a Corvette Stingray. Naturally aspirated V8, rear-wheel drive, manual transmission. Pretty cool.
It's a good option, but if you like that formula and you want more RPMs and more power, there's this, the Shelby GT350.
But perhaps those are a little bit too American for you. You could get this. This is a Jag F-Type R.
It's beautiful, and it has a supercharged V8 with even more power than those two.
This next one, though, is mid-engine and has scissor doors. Pretty
I'm
cool.
glad you opened with that, because I was like, oh, this is 1.5 litre, 3-cylinder.
You should ignore that part and talk about the scissor doors and the fact that it's mid-engine.
It's a supercar.
It's basically
They're 50 grand now.
Yeah. Speaking of baby supercars, this is the Alfa 4C. This has basically been dipped in carbon fiber. It is extremely pretty and extremely cool, and I kind of want to drive it. How are we going to decide who drives first?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
And then we'll alternate.
And we'll alternate.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Get in.
That was a quick death.
Are you ready? Here we go.
All right.
Oh!
There you go. That's mid 4 seconds to 60. Which is surprising, because when I tell you it's only got 237 horsepower, it is the weakest of today by far.
Yeah.
But it's also the lightest by far.
Well, it's the same as your MX-5.
Exactly, yeah. It's about 2,400 pounds.
It's crazy.
And with 258 pound-feet of torque, it's torquey. So it's boosty.
It is very boosty. It's a small engine with a lot of turbocharging happening.
And it's mated to a twin clutch, automatic only transmission. That's your only option for this
Can't
car.
get a manual. Okay, so I've spent a lot of time in a 4C.
Right.
But the last couple of days was your first time ever driving.
Yeah, this is a Turo. This is a rental.
Yeah. What was your first impression of the car?
Everything feels, even as you get in, it's a slightly unwelcoming cabin. Everything's very stiff and much more low. Even though it's a refined Lotus Elise in some ways,
Yeah.
it was far less refined than I expected, having just like got out of a Giulia Quadrifoglio and stuff like that.
Right. Also, the seating position is a bit high. I'm sure you noticed.
Yeah, well, I'm just in the headliner. You just live in the headliner.
Yeah, that's because this is a manually adjustable seat, and unless you have a set of Torx tools, you're not lowering it.
And it made me feel tall, and so I was just enjoying that.
I see. Okay.
And I was looking down at the gauge cluster. Oh, yeah, you can really feel the lightness there. Look at that.
Yeah, like just the. I spent a lot of time in a 4C, and it drives just like a 4C, where it pushes a lot. There's a lot of understeer, but you kind of don't care just because you're always enjoying how light it is.
Yes.
Right? It's a constant sensation in a light car.
Yeah. Do you hear the DSG farts?
It's very DSG farts.
It sounds like a Golf R. Like this is like a Lotus Elise had sex with an Alpine A110
100%.
and a Golf R. That's what this car is. But it feels older than I expected it to feel.
Yes.
Like, the closest thing to this I've driven is an Alpine A110, and it is massively close. Turbocharged, automatic, 4-cylinder, mid-engine, lightweight as key.
Yeah.
And the Alpine feels significantly newer and better.
The Alpine is honestly a better car to drive.
But we don't get it here.
So, we don't get it, so this is all we get. And honestly, like, this car is barely depreciated.
Yeah, well, I think you can't get, once you give it that carbon fiber monocoque and the Alfa and the Italian supercar looks, it's only ever going to get so cheap. But the ride is quite harsh. It's loud on the highway.
It is really loud on the highway. You get droned from the exhaust, and the road noise coming through the carbon fiber monocoque is kind of intolerable.
And I drove with my AirPods in because this catastrophe of an infotainment.
That's right. It's completely pointless, isn't it? the 4C's always been incredibly flawed. Like all the headlines when the car came out was beautiful but flawed. That's all everyone talked about. And it is, because the steering is unassisted, which would make you go, oh, it must be amazing. But it's weirdly not. It's so light off center with no precision, and then it will jump lane to lane on the highway. You can fix that with like a caster mod. But like, you shouldn't have to modify a car that costed this much when it came out. A Lotus roasts this thing in the steering department.
And this, I think the sound, I really enjoyed the 4-cylinder from the Lotus, and that's a car that's missing from this comparison, as is the Cayman that this was compared to when it first came out.
Yes.
Except it's the Drake meme. It's like, not a Porsche, not a Porsche. You know, like, like that's what today is. It's like, what if you just don't want to get what is the obvious choice? So, you know, 997, 911 or a Cayman. And this is a passion purchase.
It is 100%, that's exactly what it is. It's because I'm really, really susceptible to it, because guess what? It's a red Alfa Romeo. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I really like it.
You don't seem that taken by it, though.
I'm not that taken by it because it doesn't tick all of my boxes. I'd want a manual transmission. I'd want the steering to be better. Like, I'd want to not have my neck broken as I'm being jammed into the headliner, unless I have 45 minutes and a set of tools to adjust the seat.
You seem like someone that needs to have a ride in a 0.25 litre smaller displacement, electrically assisted BMW.
Oh yeah, that's gonna do it. Can't wait.
Before we get to that though, we've got to do the quad lock thing.
What quad lock thing?
The quad lock thing.
Wait, so what is this?
So you know I was recently driving the Ariel Atom in England?
Yeah.
Okay, on that Ariel Atom, I had a quad lock mount, and attached to that mount was my phone. And I couldn't believe from the seat of the Ariel Atom how securely attached my phone stayed.
Yeah.
So, I have built an Ariel Atom simulator so that you can first-hand experience, 1, how crazy an Ariel Atom is, and 2, how crazy it is that my phone stayed so securely attached. Okay?
Okay.
Joey.
What's Joey?
All right, we're building speed, we're building speed. There's no windscreen, so there's sticks hitting you, flying. You've reached one of those rare Welsh beaches. Now you're in the forest. There's bugs. And also it's Wales, so there's just always goats. Turbos, turbos. And then there's cake.
Is that cake?
Yes.
What does cake have to do with an Ariel Atom?
Thomas, how many people are there in the world?
I don't know, like 8 billion.
So it's likely that someone's having a birthday nearby. Also, how crazy is it that the phone stayed attached to the quad lock mount the whole time during all that sort of stuff?
I'm actually gonna kill you.
Yep.
Thanks for that, by the way.
You're welcome. Speaking of welcomes, welcome to the BMW i8, the car of the future, but now from yesteryear.
Yes.
It feels like a spaceship in here. It's been a minute since I was in one. The door, they didn't have to do scissor doors. And the lighting in the cabin, the way it all...
It's very spaceshipy. It is very futuristic. This is from an era of BMW where they were like testing new technologies, and like, this is the first plug-in hybrid they did. It's made out of crazy technology, carbon fiber reinforced plastics and aluminum, and everything's super light and neat. I mean, all of that said, it isn't that light. It's like, you know, 3,500 pounds.
Yeah, but that's significantly lighter than a modern M2.
That's true.
It's pretty impressive.
That's true, yeah.
And this was a flagship. You know, now the flagship is the XM.
Oh, that's true.
Although there are rumors that they're going to do a proper M like this again. That's currently a rumor. I hope it becomes real.
Well, the fact that there's, 357 horsepower, only a 3-cylinder, I will say that, but the fact that you get this much performance in a car that looks like this, and BMW somehow managed to resist the urge to put an M badge on it as well, is quite impressive.
True, yeah, true.
Right?
If it came out today, it would just have, this windshield would have like
just a full M.
Yeah.
The whole car is just,
But let's not talk about the MSRP, because this has maybe had the biggest fall from grace out of every car here.
It's leveled off though. It's leveled off. You can get this one right now at Tab Auto Brokers. This is where we borrowed it from. Right?
Yes, yeah, thanks to them.
Yeah.
So, and at that price, you are getting a mid-engine supercar that wants the whole
I mean, just be careful with the word supercar there.
Okay, yeah.
It's got 3 cylinders. I don't know.
Yeah, but look. Low center of gravity. That feels
really good, honestly.
Really good.
From here, that feels excellent.
And this is the same year as the Alfa we were just in. Like,
Yeah, no,
It's
it feels like
wildly modern.
10 years newer.
I don't know where this does feel old to me. Apart from the 2 screens across here, nothing about this feels that.
That shouldn't be what makes a car feel old.
That's
2
all
screens.
new cars have 2 screens. All right? And it doesn't feel crazy. I'm just here. And also, that low center of gravity doesn't hurt it. If I take this roundabout quite quickly. All right, we can hear a bit of understeer.
A little bit of, oh, very neutral. Holy crap.
All right. Does the engine sound good?
I was about to go off on a whole spiel. Yeah, it does. I agree. I was about to go off on a whole spiel about how, like, yeah, but compared to the 4C for 50 grand, you're looking for a sports car. There's better handling balance than the 4C.
Well, they've spread everything out, haven't they? Batteries and hybrids.
Batteries.
And stuff.
The batteries here, and then there's a motor there, and
Yeah, it really sounds quite synthetic.
Oh, is this the fakest sound ever?
Yeah, good
right?
transmission though. Very easy to get on with.
Yeah.
Listen, this comes free with 10,000 TikTok followers. Like, it's not the
Yeah,
audience
that's exactly
buying
what it
this.
is.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a marvel now that this, which was, as you said, BMW's science
Yeah,
experiment.
this is literally a car that you buy, you wrap lime green, and you show it off to people who don't know anything about cars. Unfortunately, that's what an i8
But
is.
it also happens to be quite good.
Yes.
However, if engine, emotion, and power is your bag, well, only real scholars and gentlemen buy the next car that we're about to try. Oh yeah! You've been missing that.
Oh, I totally forgot.
Outrageous.
No,
It's outrageous.
yeah, no, that's, yeah.
Oh. So,
Okay.
welcome to a car I used to own.
Yes, you did own one of these.
This has a 550 horsepower supercharged Jaguar V8 engine, and because this is a 2016, it was the first year that they all-wheel drived it. So it's still incredibly rear biased, but it means when you put your foot down, it doesn't immediately lay black lines on the ground.
Okay.
It's a lot car.
No, I hate being such a monkey, but like when it makes a lot of noise and blah, 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 blahs, I'm just like, it's the best one here. Like, I just immediately, but okay, let's pretend the sound isn't a thing, because that automatically makes this the most exciting vehicle we've driven so far.
And they've since got rid of all that overrun in
They
the new
have.
ones.
And why would you get a new one when you could get one of these?
Yeah.
The rest of the car is really good.
Yeah.
Steering is way better than an i8, which, like, I'm not sure if we hammered it home enough. The i8 as a sports car is ruined by the steering.
Yeah.
It feels like elastic band video game steering. And while the 4C is unassisted, and when it's really loaded in a corner, it's great, it's a bit too unpredictable and messy. This feels like a cohesive package of a vehicle.
And it's got creature comforts, which right now don't feel like they matter. You know, it's got heated seats, it's got a moonroof.
What?
Oh, the seats are comfortable. I drove to the tip of Michigan in this and back,
Yeah.
and I loved it.
Yeah.
This is pre-digital gauge cluster, so it's relatively simple. But yeah, the interior didn't change much over the years.
Wait, sorry, the tip of Michigan? It's like a 3-hour drive from Toronto.
No, it's 3 hours to Michigan, and then I drove to the top at Traverse City.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah. So I've done a road trip in this, and it was wonderful. I didn't have a bad back by the end.
No, because it's a grand touring sports car,
Yes,
right?
when it came out, nothing quite looked like it, so it was beautiful.
Yes,
And it still is, but people marveled at it, and they were obsessed with it. You know, don't get me wrong, the i8 had attention for longer. But yeah, it's good.
It's just so good. The steering weight's up really, really nice.
Yeah, we've got a ZF8 speed as a transmission.
The chassis feels excellent. It's light enough. It's light enough. It's not that light, but it's light enough.
Yeah. Where does it fall down? I mean,
Where does it fall down? I wouldn't get the all-wheel drive one.
then you only are limited to 2015. That's the only year you can get that's an all-wheel drive for the V8.
I think that's probably where I would lean, just because it's it's almost too easy.
You want to be an absolute hooligan?
I want it to be an absolute dangerous Jag.
For me, when I bought it as a much more uninitiated driver, I was perfectly happy with the all drive. I even did have a few pants poopy moments despite the all drive system. So.
I think I might have a weird secret love affair with Jag. I don't know, every single time I get in one of these cars.
As your therapist, I can explain this.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a baby Aston.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is, right? 100% that's what it is. There's just something about this like concept of British muscle. It's like an SAS guy that goes to a fancy dinner and has the high quality bottle of wine, but then like smokes some Nazis later on that evening,
so,
right?
He's wearing a suit, but you know it's not the right clothing for him.
Right,
like, why
exactly.
What's under there?
Exactly.
I think
cool.
Look, the interior's a bit plain. It's all black on black on black. Like, it doesn't compare.
I actually haven't looked at it since we got in.
There you go.
I did notice this thing popping up.
But we recently drove an AMG GT, the first generation of that.
Yeah.
And that sort of competed with this. And, you know, it was a bit more expensive, but it was very much, when they were new, it competed. And this feels a lot lesser inside, but the price has just come down so much.
Well, that's the thing. The reason that we dismiss these and we don't ever talk about them is because depreciation hits them so hard.
Yeah.
But when you're getting one that's already depreciated,
and what we've left out now is the F-Type R can actually be had for even cheaper than 50 grand. You are now starting to see the SVRs for this price.
Right, yes.
And the SVR, so I bought a 2016 F-Type R, as the SVR came out, and I wanted it. It was blue, it had the extra vent on the side, it had the wing, it had 25 more horsepower and Alcantara and blue stitching. I was like, yes! And I went there, and they offered me as a trade, I had owned my car 2 weeks.
Okay.
They offered me as a trade $40,000 less than my purchase price, and the delta was $95,000 to get the SVR. So I never owned an SVR, but now you can for 50 grand, and that is a metric poo ton of car. And in fact, when I came to sell it 2 years later, the only reason I have an issue with this car is it robbed me of $35,000, and that's what led me to buy my MX-5 for less than the depreciation I experienced on my Jag. And I've never looked back.
Yeah.
That 8250 is really up there.
It's right up there. Holy crap, I totally forgot.
Thank God there's no speed limits anywhere in Canada.
It was weird to watch your needle go right to the speed limit and stay there for 3,000 RPM. Okay, it feels like it's gonna break.
No.
It feels like it's gonna break.
I've got all the confidence.
That's a very high-strung engine,
That's
James.
Ford performance you're insulting.
That oil temp and oil pressure gauge, they're not for show. You pay attention to them.
I've got a small confession to make.
Okay.
Out of the cars we have today, the GT350 can only be stolen at $50,000 US.
Right, yes.
There are a few, and they're working, but only the higher mileage early years.
Yeah.
This is an 18, it's from Applewood Chevrolet, thanks for letting us borrow it, and it's priced just a little bit higher. But we wanted to include it because, in case you missed the memo, this ain't no normal Mustang GT.
No, it's not. And I feel like a lot of people don't know that. You want to know how I know a lot of people don't know that? Is because Shelby American just released a Mustang GT350 thing.
Yeah.
And it's got a supercharged Coyote engine in it. Yeah. And everyone's like, what do you mean it's not a real GT350?
It's an imposter.
It's an imposter. You know, we don't want to use the word, sham and...
No, we've been advised by our lawyers not to use it.
Yeah. Anyway. This is a flat plane crank V8, just like the Chevy Z06. However, this one has unequal length headers.
Right.
Which means that it gets the combination of like the light, frantic, high revving thing, but also like an American warble.
It's also an engine that has its own name. This isn't a 5-litre Coyote engine. This is a 5.2-litre Voodoo. And it's the only car that got it. The GT500 has a supercharged Predator engine, so this is rather unique. I've not driven the non-R before.
Yeah, so the R is way more hardcore, right? It's got the carbon fiber wheels, crazy suspension, and it has like it has better steering in this. The steering in this is like a little bit better than a normal Mustang.
Yeah, it is better.
But it's not as good as the GT350R.
And
right?
the Camaro is still better than all of them.
It's by a long shot, actually.
But it also has rear seat delete, tech delete. Like, this is the more road going. You can add those back in on the R, but this is the more road going one.
But this almost makes more sense.
I know, and it still revs to 8250 RPM, and it still has 526 horsepower.
And unlike the GT, this has a Tremec transmission.
This is a Tremor. I don't mind the get track in the GT.
No, I know, but the problem with the get track isn't necessarily that it feels a little bit worse. It's that they blow up.
Yes.
They break shift forks, I think. Anyway, this is a durable and good feeling transmission.
Feels fantastic.
Yeah.
Like the Dark Horse, this engaging with this engine with my foot and my hand is a wonderful, wonderful experience. The seats are comfortable. Yeah, the interior doesn't match up to the Jag.
No, it's a bit plasticky, but it's not bad.
But what does the market say when it comes to price? The F-Type Rs are cheaper than these. The market values simpler engined, simpler formats, special engine things.
Yes, I think that the market values rarity.
Yeah.
And this feels a lot more of, in the last 15 to 20 years of Ford's history, in the Mustang, this one really, really stands out for me.
It does,
like, I've almost forgot about the GT500. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting.
Like, you know, it's great, it's supercharged, it's very fast, blah, 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 blah. But this, for me, is everything. This engine is so much more exciting. I would take this engine over any supercharged V8 from Ford I've ever driven. No question.
Just because of emotion?
Emotion, revs, sound. You know what's funny is that you just hit a pitch in my ear. I can't see the tech, but you just hit a pitch that made me realize you've been short shifting instinctively.
Yeah.
Because maybe you don't want the engine to blow up, but also...
I'm at like 700 kilometers an hour at the top of first gear. But it's fun just to downshift, like...
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like, but give us a rev right to the red line again, and just listen to how far it goes. What an absolutely insane engine.
It will take you all the way to jail. Really okay, so here's my question. Like, sound-wise, only sound.
Yeah.
And there's obviously massive lifestyle decisions going on here between these cars.
There's image. We are not here to talk about.
We're not representing the buyers, we're representing what $50,000 can get you.
Yes.
F-Type R versus this for sound.
F-Type R is better on the overrun. This is better everywhere else.
And you get to
roll your
extra
gears, which means that this has the leg up in terms of straight line experience. This is a more fun car than the F-Type R for the money.
That makes me wonder what happens if you stick that recipe, manual, naturally aspirated V8, in something that's more F-Type shaped.
Let's find out. That's not a slow car at all.
This is a 2014 C7 Corvette. And it is the highest displacement car by miles.
Yeah.
It sips. It sips the BMW i8 engine for like a top up.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That's a 5-hour energy.
I've always liked this car. I've always liked the C7. It had its problems when it existed. You know, it's leaf springs, which the C7 owners will die on the hill, but they're actually better. Did you know that?
There are reasons they did the leaf springs.
There's that. The point is that this car limit oversteered to a dangerous degree going into corners on a racetrack. This thing was a handful. Now, I don't think that's necessarily a fault. In my book, that makes it fun. But the C8 was a whole generation jump. It has to be said.
Huge jump. That's quick. That's quick for the Stingray. So this has 460 horsepower, which is not as much as the F-Type, but it's lighter. It's
lighter.
3,400 pounds. And this one we're driving is equipped with the Z or Z51 package.
Isn't that a package that you must get?
Yeah, for $2,800,
Yeah.
you've got the most absurd amount of upgrades. More aggressive suspension tuning, an electronic limited slip diff, closer spaced gear ratios, larger slotted brake rotors, aero tweaks, a dry sump oil system, upgraded anti-roll bars, and then coolers for the diff and transaxle.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't understand. Like all of that stuff doesn't cost that much money. It costs way more than that.
Way
amount
more.
of money.
There's somewhere where the Kingsman's American counterpart lives.
Right. Yeah.
This is surprisingly nice inside.
Yes.
Like, especially just jumping out of the Mustang. You've got this carbon fiber panel here.
Yeah.
These leathers are they're fine.
They're fine.
They're fine.
They're fine.
I like that my dual zone climate control gives me my own button over here.
That's a cool feature,
I have
actually.
a ventilated seat.
Yep.
There's comforts here. And this cockpit, even from here, it looks like this thing's for you, man. This is you. You drive this thing. Look at that gauge cluster.
There's something Las Vegas about the red, though.
100%. However, I can't comment because I had an F-Type R in exactly this spec.
Oh,
white exterior.
horrible.
Red in
Horrible.
It befitted me.
Horrible.
I was a real party at that point. I stayed up past midnight.
Wow.
And now I realize, as a father, midnight really is the middle of the night. It's so aptly named.
Yeah. Midnight. It's in the name.
Midnight. The seats are a huge upgrade over the C6 we drove on this exact road. And apparently a lot of C6 owners retrofit these seats because they're a huge jump.
The steering in this is better than the C8, and I think the steering in this is better than everything else today. Yeah?
That's funny because over 10 years ago when this came out, it was criticized. The electric rack was got criticism, but then I don't understand how anyone that jumped out of a C6 into this didn't say, oh my God, it can now steer. And I'm gonna get flack for that, because I know that the C6 got amazing track times, all right?
Yeah, but the C6 felt like a 90s car.
Yes.
Right? This doesn't. This just feels like a modern sports car. It's such a sports car, this car. And we've driven the Z06.
Sounds good.
So, we've driven the Z06.
Push rod 6.2 litre. Yeah.
And I just don't, you don't need it. You do not need that amount of power. Like this is...
You'd get a C7 Stingray over a C6 Z06?
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, wait, so C7...
You'd get this over the last thing we drove.
Yes! That!
Oh, God. How's the shifter? How's all the manual stuff?
The shifter is a weaker point, I will say. It's like, it takes a lot of effort to go into the gate, and the gate is long.
Right.
Like, if that makes any sense. Like, it's really like in there. It's not bad. It's better than a BMW. There you go.
Everything's better than BMW.
Shut your mouth. This is a very analog sports car, right? Like there is rev match and stuff, but when you turn it off, you are actually on your own. It doesn't feel like there's anything helping you. You must know how to drive a manual, which I like.
And the ride is good. This has the optional Magna ride.
Yep.
Which so does the GT350, but it transforms this into a not punishing experience at all. The used market's so fun because when this came out and the F-Type R came out, the F-Type R owner could look down his nose at the Corvette. And the used market's the great equalizer because now they're the same price.
The same price.
And you can get really nice, very clean C7 Z51s for this price. You could probably even begin to get into the GS pricing.
This is a very, very good buy.
What if you press that?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
What would have been the weirdest?
Flashlight.
Why did you have that ready to go?
What?
Okay, huge thank you to Wallace Chevrolet because I now have a new respect for the C7 Stingray.
This is a very particularly clean example, isn't it?
2014.
Yeah.
That's quite a few years.
Low miles, too. Well, it actually makes sense, though, because the guy that bought it in 2014 probably drove it a couple times on the weekend, and then his wife made him sell it so that he could finally buy that vacation home in Florida.
You leave Corvette owners alone.
I don't know.
Okay? I like them now. I'll protect them till the day I die.
Okay.
Mustang owners can protect themselves, though. However, I think when it comes to design,
Yeah.
this just works, doesn't it?
Well, this has always been a really good generation. I actually prefer the earlier cars with the turned up headlights like
Before
this.
they dip down.
Yeah. And
I don't mind.
There's something about the fact that, you know when you see a GT3 and 911 GT3
Right.
and you realize, oh, it has a different engine. There's like this excitement you get when you see one of these in traffic and you realize, oh, it's the different grille and it's got the badge and the thing and the wing, whatever it is. And you go like, that is a completely different car. Like the way that it drives and feels and sounds, it's not a normal Mustang, and that makes it special. That's why it's held as value.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the interior, the little tweaks they've done to
Yeah.
make it just a bit GT350, they're not enough to make it an expensive car, but they're fine. The Stingray.
It's a very good-looking car, but it's a bit like sharp. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not pretty,
It's like,
but it
no,
has
it's not
presence.
Pretty. Yes.
It's an angry sports car. It looks so front engine. I think Corvette now, I think C8.
Yeah.
It was a big jump.
It's got a hood that opens this way.
The clamshell thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. And it's got a gigantic trunk, as we said, and the interior is surprisingly good.
The thing is that these two side by side, that is similar design, cues to this, but this is a much more elegant vehicle,
Yes.
right? It's got smoother lines, better proportions.
Oh, it's classically beautiful.
It is.
This will age so well. In 30 years, it's going to have the E-Type status of, yeah, that's cool, but it's better if your friend owns one.
Right. But the headlights, I think it was an error going to the new style with like the little line down here.
Right.
They still look good, but this is just, it just looks better.
It's aging well. 10 years old now, this design.
Really, really is aging
10
well.
ye's old. And the interior, I think, is the king of this lot.
Speaking of aging well,
All right, what's happened here?
we need to talk, okay.
What's happened
we need
here?
to talk about why are there's like splitters and dive planes and canards, and this is the client package.
Right.
Yeah.
The aftermarket.
Aftermarket.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? It doesn't ruin the look.
No, because that matches the, like this isn't aftermarket. This like huge wing thing here, you can
but
stick
look,
your arm
I
through.
know, look at that air pass through. It's amazing. I think that this is a concept car come to life.
It is.
And, I would drive Buzz Lightyear if he came to life. That alone is enough. It doesn't have to be pretty.
What do you mean drive
I would
him?
fall with style with Buzz
Okay.
because that's a toy come to life. Mm-hmm. I feel like you've lost your train of thought here.
I don't know if I
You have. You've gone a bit loopy.
Okay, so the Alfa 4C.
Yeah. Smallest of the bunch, visibly incredibly small compared to them.
My favorite part about it is that it looks as wide as it is long.
No, I think I don't like that about it.
What?
The look of it, the proportions suggest supercar, but in person it's like stubby.
It is stubby, but it's stubby in a cool way. It gives it a look that is incredibly unique to the 4C.
Listen,
Right? It's like a scale model of a supercar.
I agree. The 3 days I've had this, so kids think it's a supercar because to them it's huge. I drove past a school this morning at 40. This is a car that looks fast while standing still or going slow.
Yeah.
And I don't normally say that because I've always found that really cringy.
Yeah.
Except I witnessed it this morning. I drove past the school zone at 40 kilometers an hour and there was a dad. I was going at 40 kilometers an hour. It was 40 kilometers an hour. This dad goes and points to the sign and I went, and he was, and I know I was going slow because we had time to have that entire interaction while I was driving past him. And he was furious.
At 40.
I wasn't even revving or anything. So yeah, this car is one that looks speedy and gets tons of attention. And for that, I don't think any of these can do that. Maybe the i8. The i8 also stops even pregnant women.
Where were you going? What's happening? Careful.
I just experienced it.
Broadcast.
No.
nationally.
When we had the press car of this,
Okay.
Even pregnant women with like 3 kids in strollers
Yeah.
would stop and turn to see this.
What does the pregnancy have to do with it?
She's
though?
just her mind's so occupied.
Again, though, careful with direction.
3 kids pregnant, 1 on the way.
Listen, let's talk about the 4C.
Yeah.
This is a car that I have always loved and I've cherished because it's so unique here. We don't have anything like this. We don't get the A110.
We do get the Emira now.
We get the, oh, damn it.
It's quite a bit heavier, so in that sense it's not exactly the same
But the
philosophy.
Emira looks better and it drives better.
And it's manual if you
and
want.
it's a manual. Yeah, no, I know, but I still love it. Listen, I don't know. I'm a bit dumb.
I would lose the refinement.
I'm a
just
bit
get an
dumb.
Elise.
And if you remove that badge, I don't know what would happen. But so I see the badge and I see the red.
Okay, so do that
I
as,
just-
as a thought exercise.
Yes.
Come stand here.
Okay.
Pretend that has a Mazda badge.
Well, it kills it then.
So you're a badge snob.
Yeah, I guess so. I would never own a Mazda sports car. That would be idiotic. Who would do that?
But fortunately, moving on, this is an Alfa Romeo.
It is an
Okay,
Alfa Romeo,
so it comes to this.
Yeah.
We must choose.
Okay. Well, there's actually there's two things here. There's 2 categories. Which is, do you think, the best sports car for the money? Like the most sports car you're getting for the money?
Right.
And then which one would you buy? By you, I mean James.
For me, I think they're one and the same.
Oh.
First of all, 2 of these cars here started deep into the 6 figures MSRP.
Yes.
Well over $100,000 new, So
Makes you feel like you're getting a deal.
you need to get an F in chat for those. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, in terms of car for the money, the market has decided.
Well, you know what it tells you though, is actually driving all these side by side, it tells you that was overpriced when it first came out.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like anymore.
We get it. We get it. I lost lots of money on it. Yeah, I think that
What would you take?
that's a chassis.
Yes.
This is a science experiment gone right.
Yeah.
That is a baby Aston. That is a manual. I don't know how to. That's a Corvette.
It's a Corvette, yeah.
And the Mustang is an engine.
It's an engine, you're right, yes.
I think everything collides together best in this package at this price.
Okay, so I think you're wrong and right.
Well, now I don't know how to feel.
This is the most for the money. You're getting the most car for the money with this.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Corvettes
dry
do.
sump, transaxle, sports car, manual, V8. It's got so much stuff for the money, and it's in great condition for the price. You can get them cheaper than that. I wouldn't buy one though.
Oh.
Yeah. For me, it is actually between the Alfa and the F-Type. Even that is the most flawed car here by a huge and I would still consider it. But I'd buy an F-Type. I don't know, it just feels like you're getting the most.
I didn't choose
for
the
money.
F-Type to vindicate the younger version of me, but that did vindicate a lot, or validate. Is that for parking? Either way, so much car for the money. However, I mean, let's be honest, this is not the only 5 cars you can get for $50,000 US used.
Oh, there's a lot of others,
There's lots. There's the 997, 911, the appropriate generation Cayman, the Elise, the M2.
Actually, no, it's the V8 Vantage. That's one I would have.
That's another option.
Yeah.
But it was difficult amongst these 5, I will say.
Yeah, but the answer is the V8 Vantage.
Listen, you let us know out of these 5 what you'd pick and what the other options are, and maybe we'll do a sequel. But no V8 Vantage, we've already driven that.
But with the
Okay, maybe the V8 Vantage.
Speaking of Vantage, it's time to take advantage of quad-lock support for this video. Genuinely excellent foam mounts that not only have I, and now Thomas, proved can handle the aerial atom experience, sort of. Look at that face. Where was I? Yes, we also have them in our personal cars, and they kept us going on our latest V12 road trip. Incredibly quick to install, outrageously secure, and easy to move between cars should you so choose. The Australians don't mess around, and this is a quality product. And plenty of different designs and formats to fit your needs, including ones that have wireless charging built in. And we have a 10% discount code. We'll stick a link in the description, or you can go to the website and enter ThrottleHouse10. At least for me, every time I mount my phone to one, this image now lives rent-free in my head. And I'm fine with that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.
No!
What? I'm gonna turn the truck back on.
Can you film him?